Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Let me know if you can hear me properly. This is the first time I'm actually using OBS Studio to actually broadcast my stream. So I'm not sure how it's working, whether it's fine or not, but definitely let me know. And we're gonna wait a few minutes for people, so hopefully they can show up. Hey guys, hey, what's up? I mean, super excited to have you all here. Definitely let me know if you have any questions, anything you'd like to ask about, like particularly components. Very obviously, we have variables, we have advanced prototyping, we have a lot of awesome features that we just experienced in Config 2023. I mean, I cannot hold my breath even now, so I mean, it's insane. So, yeah, I mean, I'm great. Alum Khal, I guess that's your name. I'm great. How about you guys? Hey, 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 everyone. So I'm just gonna give like people a few minutes so they can show up. But if anyone wants to ask any questions or anything they want to talk about, definitely let me know and we can talk about it. But in this video, hopefully, I'm just gonna break down some of the or just gonna talk about like some of the Config 2023 features and what we should do there. Hey, Jiro, nice to see you, and thank you. Okay, Hamza asked, do you think in 2023 Upwork is a good platform for new freelance UI UX designers? Language translation in variables. I mean, it's pretty easy, right? And I can demo that like right now as well. Hopefully, when a few more people actually show up. Language translations, you actually don't have real translation, like real live translation going on where maybe ChatGPT is translating it. That's not something that's happening. Rather, what's happening right now is you yourself define what those translations are. So you yourself can set a bunch of modes. You can create string variables, and then you can obviously go ahead and define the different languages for those particular strings. And I'm just going to show that in a quick while. But I don't want to miss like Hamza's question. Do you think in 2023 Upwork is a good platform for new freelance UI UX designers? I get so many messages about, hey, we aren't getting like work on Upwork. We aren't able to again find work. Clients don't reply to us. Like we send proposals and cover letters and all of that stuff, and they just keep on doing that. And I'm like, hey, do you actually have a good, worthwhile portfolio? Like, show me your portfolio. And then people show me their portfolio, and it's just like disappointing, honestly. I see their portfolio; it's definitely not up to the mark, and they just keep on wasting time and money on applying to jobs and all of that stuff. I mean, at least have a good portfolio. You don't need to work somewhere in order to have a good portfolio. You can just try to copy certain designs, try to copy their aesthetics, try to get an understanding of how they're designing certain things rather than actually just applying on jobs. That's not going to get you anywhere. Apart from that, I also want to mention, don't just focus on Upwork. Focus on all social media channels. I, as an expert vetted, like as many of you know, like I am top 1% on Upwork. Like I'm an expert vetted talent on Upwork. But even now, like I actually focus quite hard, not necessarily on Upwork and maintaining the profile there, rather on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on obviously YouTube, building my community, building my following. So I can be in the spotlight. I can be recognized as an industry leader. And people may know, even if I'm not making YouTube videos or something, even just on LinkedIn, people can actually reach out to me and they can know that I have a following and they can know that I actually know what I'm talking about. So all of those things are important, and obviously you can focus on Upwork as well. Alum Khal asked, like, what do you think about the future of Figma after Adobe killed XD? Do you think Adobe will put in Creative Cloud? You mean like Adobe will put Figma in Creative Cloud? I don't think that's happening. I think the power of Figma is obviously it being free for most users. If they actually put Figma in Creative Cloud, I can see Figma dying quite down and quite fast, like really fast. And I can see other competitors emerging. Like obviously we have a bunch of other competitors that I don't want to focus on right now. But I can see a lot of people taking Figma's place if Figma actually, or Adobe actually decides to make Figma paid. I don't think that's going to happen. Hamza, yes, you can share your portfolio. If you want to share the portfolio, you can share it directly in the chat. Unfortunately, you cannot paste links. So you probably should do like whatever your title. For example, if it's on Behance.com, you can say Behance dot, and you can say Behance .com and then slash, or and then just type whatever your URL is rather than actually typing the URL, because URLs won't be allowed in the comments. My question is, does a UX designer now need to learn coding because of this new feature? These new features don't have anything to do with coding. There's nothing to do with coding. Only the dev mode stuff is related to coding, but this isn't related to coding. So the variables that you have, the advanced prototyping that you have, it's nothing related to coding. But in general, I feel like, again, if you do learn to code like a few things, like for example, HTML, CSS, some basic JavaScript, that's definitely not going to harm you. And that's going to boost up your potential of getting jobs and getting hired a lot better. But you don't have to be an expert in it. Just some basic understanding is going to really help you. Ijiro asked, my question is, does a UX designer now need to... So I've already covered that. Hello, I just brought your course last night. I am... Grave, I'm excited that you've bought the course, and for all those who haven't bought it, definitely go ahead and check it out, because I'm going to be covering variables, advanced prototyping in detail. And Grave, I just want to mention that do complete the exercises. Exercises are really important. If you don't complete the exercises, you just keep on consuming things, you're not going to get far. You need to complete the exercises, you need to complete the quizzes. If there's something that you don't understand, you can obviously reach out to me directly in the public channel on Discord as well, and we can talk about it. But don't miss the exercises. Is Figma now really better than Zeppelin? I am not really sure if it is better. I mean, generally, it's definitely better as a tool. If you mean in terms of export, then it's definitely better, because now you have dev mode, right? Dev mode can directly integrate with VS Code as well. So, I mean, it's just insane. Shafaq Siddiqui asked, hello, if someone has some experience in UI, how can we get job in UX as fresher? Why do you want to get a job as a UX as a fresher in UX design? Like if you're, let's say, if I'm a visual designer, if I'm a UI designer, ideally what I should do is I should actually get a UI design job at a really good level, which is paying me really well. And then in the organization itself that you're working in, you ideally should strive to go into UX side of things as well, and say that I want to really pursue the UX side of things, the interviews, the research, and all of that stuff. So that way you can keep on getting paid on your UI stuff while you can keep on jumping to the UX stage, rather than starting as a complete fresher in a completely different space or in a completely different organization as a UX designer. I don't think that's clever. Okay. I've been talking a lot, I guess, and I'm just going to go ahead and actually share what I think one of you asked. Like, I'm not sure who exactly it was, but it was about like some translations in Figma, right? And how do you manage translations in Figma? So let's just go ahead and actually have a look at that. So let me open Figma really quickly, and then I'm going to show that to you guys as well. And apologies if my video is a bit laggy. Like my computer is laggy because obviously I have a bunch of stuff open, and this OBS Studio I think just takes a lot of memory, just a lot. Okay, let me just close some other applications as well. Okay, so I should have Figma open now, and let's talk aside. Aside the color, is there any plugin that converts spacing for auto layout into variables? Obviously that wouldn't be possible, because what was happening is in the plugin that I just recently shared on my video is it was converting your styles into variables. previously there was nothing that actually had your spacings in auto layout as variables or anything. If you were using the design tokens plugin can actually convert your tokens into variables and stuff along those lines. But by default, there was no way to actually even have tokenization or variables or styles for spacing and stuff along those lines in auto layout. So obviously you can't really convert it into variables, right? Shafaq, you need to keep on applying. There are tons of UI jobs. If you have a great portfolio, you can easily find jobs. If you're not finding jobs, I mean, work on your portfolio and start working freelance, right? There are tons of people who actually require a lot of like UI designers. Even I on my team recently hired or worked on a bunch, or basically have a dedicated person for UI designs who's just creating designs for our Dribbble profile, for our Behance profile, without necessarily thinking a lot about UX, because I know even though designs devoid of UX don't really matter much in the real world, but a lot of clients just get really impressed by flashy designs and stuff along those lines, similar to what's happening on Dribbble, and those are purely crap. Okay, now let's talk about some of the stuff that someone asked about Figma. Let me just reduce my screen and let me just move the comments on the left. Okay, so someone asked, and just give me a second. Okay, so someone asked about like translations and stuff along those lines. So imagine if we have some text right here, or let me actually just go ahead and create a card. So I have a card here and I can have some shapes in there as well. So let me just let me just add some text. So this is going to be like our, hey, what's up? Some text in there. Let's just go ahead and make it bold, center it, and then have some text right below it as well. Maybe reduce the font size. And then obviously I just want to make it auto layout as well. And then we can just add something like, I am really excited to see you all here. Something along those lines, some basic text here, right? And let me just actually resize it and make this a fill container as well. Okay, so now that we're there, and let me just center this as well. I'm just going to create or make this a component. So I've made this a component. This is going to be our card component or something along those lines. And what we're going to do here, actually, I'm going to show you the power of variables in a bunch of different places right now and right here. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is maybe we're going to create some shapes, right? So let's create some shapes. So I'm just going to go to the shape tool, and I'm going to first of all create a polygon. So let's insert a polygon here. Actually, let me just insert it above. So this is our shape slash triangle. Let's create another shape, or duplicate it. Actually, let me just go ahead and create another variant for it. So this is going to be some other shape, I guess. Let's make it 4 sides. This is like a diamond, and make it a diamond. And then we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to say this is going to be, I don't know, pentagon, I guess. So let's make it a pentagon, make it 5 sides. Okay, so we have these 3 shapes now. Let me just also color them really quickly. I'm going to create actually just going to go ahead and update the color for all of them directly by going here and changing a color like, or creating a color like this. Okay, that's fine. I'm now just going to go ahead and actually copy this and drag this into my card. So here I have this particular shape dragged in my card. Now, how do I actually link this to, or everything here, to a collection? And I'm not seeing your comments, but definitely if something is not clear, let me know. Are you to cover the advanced prototyping in detail? Yes, that's something that I'm actually going to cover, both in my course and in the YouTube videos, so definitely stay tuned for that. The one thing that I'm just going to do here is, someone asked about translation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give a basic introduction of variables again, even though I did an extensive video on that. So what we're going to do here is, first we're going to deselect everything. We're going to go to our local variables, and I have a bunch of like local styles created. I'm just going to go to a random collection, and I'm going to name this collection like my card styles. And you don't have to do like card styles. You can name it whatever you want. And I'm going to first of all create a number. This is going to be our card radius. I'm going to say the radius is going to be 16. Okay, that's cool. Then we're going to create a string. This is going to be, hey, what's up? Or let's say, I'm just going to say this is going to be our card title. Let's just make it card title. And the text is going to be, hey, what's up? And then we're going to create another string, and I'm just going to copy this. This is going to be our card description. This is going to be this. And then we have, what else do we have? Then we have the shapes as well. So I'm going to create another string variable, and I'm going to say this is going to be our shape. And by default, the shape is like triangle, right? Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're actually going to go ahead and link these things. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to link the card radius to the radius. So now as you can see, we have a 16 pixel radius here. And let me just actually include this within a frame as well so you guys can see it a bit better. Otherwise, it's a bit hard to see, I know. And let me just change the background of this to a bit darker background. Okay, something like this, I guess. Okay, so now that we're here, I want to update this text as well. I'm going to say this is also going to be linked to what? It's going to be linked to our card title. This is going to be linked to our card description. And this shape, the variant that's used, is also going to be linked. So I'm going to link it. As you can see, we have a bunch of different things here, and like triangle and all of that stuff. So what we can do here is, actually, even before that, let's just go ahead and actually show what happens and when we're creating certain modes. So I'm going to click on the plus button and I'm going to create another mode. So this is going to be, let's say, our card 1. This is going to be our card 2, and we can do translations as well. Like you can have this as English and then like Arabic or whatever. Actually, let's just do translations first because I don't want people to get confused. So this is English and this is Urdu. For those who know like Urdu or like Hindi, they would be able to understand it. So hey, what's up? It's going to be something like, हाँ भाई, क्या हो रहा है? क्या हो रहा है? And that looks ugly. So I'm just going to fill the container as well. Okay, let's just fill the container like this and have it at the center. I'm really excited to see you. बहुत खुशी हुई आप लोगों को देख के. Now, some people may actually just go do that. And as you can see, what this does is, this is a huge mistake. They may think that they're making something or they're doing something, but this is nothing. So what I'm going to do is, no problem, nothing to worry about. I can just copy this here. I can copy this here. And there you go. And now what we can do is we can obviously link these things again. I intentionally, obviously, just right in front of you made this error. So don't definitely do that. And now if you want to change, let's say, this from English to Urdu, you can just go to your layers here, this layer panel, and you can just change the card style. So currently it's auto. So what auto means is it's going to choose the default, the first column that's going to be there in this collection, which is English. If we change it to Urdu, as you can see, the text has updated and there's a new translation for it. So this is quite easily how you can do it. Now we can do the same thing, or we can create, let's say, 3 different things or 3 different cards with different texts and different properties for the variants and stuff along those lines. And that's how you can use variant. So I haven't seen the comments, apologies, for quite a while. So if there are any other comments or anything that you want to know, definitely let me know. Let me just increase my video as well so you guys can see me a bit better. Yeah, let me know if you want to know something else, I guess, that we should cover right now. I hope you guys have something. So yeah, I'm just playing around with something here. It's really awesome. Thanks, man. Got it now. Okay, I'm glad that you got it. Are you to cover prototyping in detail? Yes, I'm going to cover that. Hamza, did you share your portfolio? As I mentioned, you can't really share a link directly. So you need to share the portfolio with something. For example, if my website is, let's say, behance.com/Asad Mahmood, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it like this, Behance, and then dot, and then slash or something. I guess you get the idea. So this is how I'm actually going to share it if I'm sharing my link. So share it similar to something like this when I am able to actually see it. So any other thing anyone wants to know about advanced prototyping, about anything, just in general, definitely let me know. Otherwise, we can obviously end the stream as well if there are no major questions. Yes, this video. Can you speak about upcoming updates in variables? Okay. So there are a bunch of updates coming to variables, obviously, as some of you might have seen my own post. So currently, as you know, that variables don't really support like text properties and stuff. So text properties are going to be coming. And actually, let me just also open some of the stuff that actually is coming, because so obviously we're going to have that. We're going to have layer opacity, so you can actually apply the numbering to layer opacities as well. You're also going to have effects, variables being applied to effects as well. So a bunch of stuff that's coming that's going to be very interesting. But one important thing that everyone needs to note is, even if variables actually come, and that doesn't mean that styles are going to disappear, because styles would still be used as a collection of things. So for example, you can have a style that can include a variable. It can also include an image. It can also include a gradient. So it can include a lot of different things, while variables are just for a single item, for a singular item, whether that's like a text or a number or a string and stuff along those lines. So styles would still be used. So I think that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not really seeing a lot of people. I think like a lot of people actually dropped off. So I didn't watch yesterday's config. What is this Figma and diagram with AI with? Can you please help and tell about it? Okay, so we can actually just watch or see what diagram is doing. So just as a default thing, actually, let me just show it to you right now. So let's just go ahead and actually, so Diagram actually is a company that has launched a bunch of different plugins previously, even before this Figma acquisition and everything. How to buy Dribbble Premium? I don't have Stripe or PayPal account. Honestly, you don't need to buy Dribbble Premium. It's not really worth it in my opinion. I don't think you should buy it. I don't think anyone should buy it. You're not going to get a lot of work with Dribbble Premium. It's just going to be a waste of your time and your money. So focus on building your audience and focus on actually updating your portfolio. Don't focus on the premium stuff. Hamza, I unfortunately cannot see your message about your portfolio. If you can actually just go to my LinkedIn and send me a message, or send me a link to your portfolio in any of the comments, and I'm just going to have a look at the notification. Just don't forget to mention me. Okay, so this is Diagram, and Diagram was actually creating a bunch of tools, and let's just have a look at some of their tools. So Diagram has been recently acquired by Figma. So the Diagram team is going to be working with Figma to actually do a lot of like AI stuff. So what Diagram actually does right now is it allows you to generate icons, and a lot of different things. Like for example, I think like images and text and like lorem ipsum text and stuff along those lines. Obviously not lorem ipsum. You can convert your lorem ipsum text to actual text, similar to what you can do with ChatGPT. So you can ask it to do whatever you want. Similarly, we have magically renaming your layers. So these are all things that actually the plugins that Diagram have are actually doing. And then in the future, this is exactly what's coming. Figma's new AI bestie. So it's actually going to be suggesting you and working alongside of you like an AI assistant or something. And it's going to be making suggestions to you or doing monotonous tasks for you, like creating cards, dropping components and stuff along those lines. So we don't really have that completely yet, but as soon as it comes in the future, it's going to be really interesting. So as you can see, we have like auto suggestions. As we can see, the AI thing is going to suggest items for you. It iterates your, so I can just go ahead and like check this, and it iterates on your designs to unlock new possibilities. It just copies it and does new things and explore things with you. So it's like really amazing. It's like an assistant and stuff along those lines. So you can definitely check it out. Even right now, some of the stuff that they have, but in the future, it's going to be even more powerful. So, yep. Okay, anything else? Let me just see the comments as well, and let me just increase my screen size. Hamza, unfortunately, I cannot see your comment. Did you actually just went ahead and sent me your portfolio on LinkedIn, and I can do a live review right now? So I'm just going to see your message. I think I got a message. Like, I'm not sure if it's from you. Yes, I think it's from you. So I'm going to have a look at your portfolio. And Don't mind my harsh critique, because sometimes I actually do give very harsh critique. And just let me know if you actually want to get this critique directly personally, if you don't want me to actually blow you up on this live stream. So if you want the personal critique, let me know and I can give that personal critique. Or if you actually want, I can give you a critique right now. Riley asked, what will happen to Figma Token Studio with the Where Figma array? Do you know if there will be support? Yes, there is support. The Figma tokens, I think like CEO actually updated a video where they are talking about like how you can actually, if you have the styles, you can actually use them to apply or create like variables for yourself as well. And it's going to still work. But I think the utility of Figma tokens and the plugin itself is going to go down a bit, I think. So I don't think people should keep on using it. They can still keep on using it, but I feel like in the future, it's going to become redundant. However, you never know. Like maybe the authors actually have something in plan. Then we have, do you find any option that using a gradient as a variable? No, you cannot use a gradient as a variable. You cannot have multiple values in a variable. So you cannot have 3 colors in a variable, right? You can just have 1 color. So that's that. Rafzin asked, like, please try this. Like, what should I try? I'm not sure what you exactly mean. So what other feedback do we have? How to understand or learn different web sections with full details as we understand app design by material design. Okay, so first of all, let me just go ahead and resize my screen so we can actually do a review first of a portfolio by Hamza Khan. So Hamza, I just want to mention one thing. It's really great that you are open to getting this critique live, because even if you actually get this critique, there are going to be some people actually visiting your site. Actually, I'm not going to even say, let me actually just look at the top 4 designs that you have here. So this one, the first thing that I just want to say, I mean, I like the design. I think it's neat. I think it's clean, but just uploading an image does nothing for your designs. Where's the story? Tell me what this application is. Tell me what give you the idea of creating this application. Even if it's a concept story, actually be honest about it. Like, why did you created this particular concept? Is it something that you're passionate about? Where's the design system that you created along with this? Where are the components that you created along with this? Like, you have to present a story. You cannot just present a design and just sell it. Like, what you're doing right now is, imagine if Apple had a conference, and instead of actually talking about how visionary their new product is and how it's going to help people, how it's going to change their lifestyle, how it's going to make them be better people or like better entrepreneurs, or I don't even know what they mentioned, but they really do great marketing. And most people, when they're selling their products, do that. Now imagine if they don't do all of that. They just show you, hey, this is our new phone. That's it. That's our conference. Go and buy it later. Do you think anyone's going to be interested about that? A lot of people keep on focusing on designs and making sure their designs look good, but you need to have a voice. You need to give your designs a voice, a story, a narrative. That needs to be there. Not only is that going to help people understand how you're thinking, it's also going to help people get an idea of how in depth you're going when you're creating these designs. You don't have to do a lot of research if you're not a UX designer, but as a UI designer, you definitely need wireframes, right? You definitely need a design system. You definitely need some rationale why you're doing certain things over the other. For example, if you're looking at this screen, like for example, this screen, like, why did you use, actually not this one, since that one is a simple one, but I feel like, again, most of these screens, actually, one other thing that I just want to mention, most of these screens are very simple and they're duplicated. So for example, this screen is, I think, a duplicate of this one. And I think this screen is also going to be a duplicate of someone. So there aren't really a lot of screens here. So you definitely need to create actual flows. So if you're creating a design, at the very least, try to create a flow of at least one particular thing that the user would be able to do here. So if you want to present, like, let's say 3 screens for starters, that's fine, but build a story, build a narrative. So that's going to be really helpful. I think you're doing good with the designs. They definitely can be improved. Your aesthetics can be improved. But this is a good place. You should be able to get jobs with designs like these. You just need to make them presentable. Again, as I mentioned, you need to have that story behind them. So good job. I definitely don't want to take everyone's time reviewing just your portfolio, but that's it. Okay. let me just go ahead and expand my screen again. Okay, let me see. So we can use style anyway. Yes, you can still use styles anyway. Okay, Hamza, you dropped the message. Did you find any option that using gradient? No, that's not there. Do you understand or learn different? Okay, please. How do you understand and learn different web sections with full details as we understand app design by material design? Tushar, like, what exactly do you mean here? Learn full section, learn different web section. Like, what exactly does that mean? Explain it to me a bit more. Okay, then we have what, in fact, I would really appreciate 3 to 4 designs are not mine. Some of the designers helped me when I started UI UX, but I guess it's 2 years ago. I mean, okay. Here is super cool plugin to create Figma variables. Really superb video. Thanks a lot. Do you update your course every time there is something new? Yes, I do update my course every time there's something new, because I obviously want the course to be updated. And does the one who purchased? Yes, the people who have purchased the course definitely do get the updates as well. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. So you're going to get all the updates at the very least until I'm supporting the course, until I'm alive. Like if I die tomorrow, I definitely wouldn't be able to update it. So yeah, I mean, that's something that happens. My LinkedIn, well, you can actually just get my LinkedIn directly by actually, let me just share my LinkedIn as well so you can see it. I'm not sure if I would be able to share my link directly, but I'm going to try. So let me know if you can see the link to my LinkedIn profile in the chat. If not, it's just like linkedin.com/IN or whatever, and Asad Mahmood, ASAADMAHMOOD. Is Figma prototype now better than Framer? That's a tough question. Yes, Yuri, it is a lifetime course until obviously I'm supporting it, right? As I mentioned, I may die or something else may happen, something big may happen, the world may come down crashing, or who knows, there may be an earthquake or something. So we never know, but normally, yes, it's going to be lifetime till I'm actually supporting it, till I'm alive, hopefully. And if I do decide to close it, I'll definitely let you guys know, but it's definitely alive. So someone asked like about like, is Figma prototype now better than Framer? Framer is not a good UI design tool in my humble opinion. Framer is a great web design a web development no code tool. So you can create landing pages directly, you can have a lot of fancy animations, you can create your React components, you can override components, all of that. So it's a great tool for creating websites, for creating landing pages, for even like powerful like e-commerce stores and stuff along those lines, and CMS systems and blog sites and all of that stuff. While Figma is more into app design and not development, because obviously that's not really done in Figma right now, but it's more about like actually creating large scale, full scale applications. Even for simple stuff, I feel like Figma's interface is much easier than Framer. So if you're working on designs, like for example, a design of a website or a design of a mobile application or a SaaS application or a web application, use Figma. If you want to create a landing page, or if you want to create, let's say, a website for yourself, a portfolio website or a client website or a blog website, use Framer. Okay, Riley asked, what do you think about the future of Figma regarding motion design? Based on what I've seen, Figma actually offers quite good flexibility for motion design to some extent, but you definitely still can't do things like, for example, what you can do in Protopie or Principle. So they definitely have a long way to go, in my opinion. And I don't think they're actually focusing on it. They're focusing on AI. It seems like they're focusing on these variable stuff. They're focusing on making things functional. And I think that's great, rather than focusing on interaction and motion design as such. Okay. Do more tutorials and variables and expressions for advanced prototyping. Sure. Yeah, I'm going to cover them. Between Figma variables and tokens, is there any difference? If has difference, could you please explain? I mean, there's a huge difference, right? Tokens previously, or Figma tokens, were something that we used to create. And first of all, you can actually use Figma tokens in a lot of different places where, like, for example, I think you can even use them for, you can use them in a bunch of different places where you can't really use them directly where you can use variables right now, but that's going to be coming in the future. But the major difference that I want to point out is Figma tokens, you cannot interact with Figma tokens using prototyping. You can interact with variables using prototyping because variables are things that are baked within Figma. So that actually takes Figma tokens completely out of the conversation. If you want to use Figma tokens, you can still use them. You can still use the plugin, but now they have to be connected to variables. So you can't really just go ahead and ignore Figma tokens and keep on using, or ignore variables and keep on using Figma tokens. They have to either you have to either use them both, or you need to choose one, which is variables. You cannot choose Figma tokens now. Okay. What else do we have? Do more tutorials. Yes, I'm going to do them. Which real-time example, like how to create a 5 tag and only one be active at a time? With real-time examples like how to create a 5 tag and only one be active at a time. Can you explain that? I can actually just create that right now. So imagine you have like 5 tags and you click on one of them and one of them gets active. Is that what you're talking about? I can actually just create that right now if that's what you're talking about, using variables and advanced prototyping. Oh man, I'm super tired just speaking and speaking and speaking. I'm just looking at some stuff, so definitely don't mind me. I mean, keep on asking questions. I'm still here for obviously people who actually want to ask any other questions. Can you please tell me full name of marketing book that is on a wall behind you? The full name of this marketing book is This is Marketing by Seth Godin. So Seth Godin is the author, and This is Marketing is the name of the book. And it's an extremely, Seth Godin is a pioneer in marketing, and they're really, I mean, he's really awesome. So definitely do read his books. And I'm going to tell you, apart from whether you're a UX designer, whether you're a UI designer, whether you're a developer, whether you're whoever, you need to market yourself. If you cannot speak well, if you cannot market yourself well, if you cannot sell yourself, or sorry, not yourself, your services well, I mean, it's over for you. It doesn't matter if you're like a genius sitting in your basement and nobody knows about you. You need to be proactive. You need to be visible. You should stop being invisible. Okay, Yuri, what is the difference between the videos that you are uploading on YouTube and the ones included in your course? Well, obviously, the ones included in my course are much more detailed. I keep on updating them more frequently. I don't have any conviction to actually update, or a responsibility to update all of the previous videos that exist on my YouTube channel. As you can see, a bunch of them are quite outdated, but since people are actually purchasing my course, I obviously need to update the course itself so that it's not outdated. Apart from that, there are multiple quizzes, there are multiple exercises, and obviously I review exercises in my Discord community. So as I can actually just show my Discord community as well. So I hope nobody in my Discord community actually minds me sharing the Discord community. I don't think there's necessarily anything here. So as you can see, this is my Discord community. People talk to me about certain things. People ask me questions. I directly talk to them, and we have exercises as well. People create exercises. I go ahead and actually comment on them and all of that stuff. And I have like some other people from my team here as well. So, I mean, I feel like that's a lot of value. So yeah, I mean, that's the difference. So if you definitely want something a bit more in depth and you actually are looking to grow with a community, with myself, or looking for someone's help to actually take you along the way, I think the course is going to be a much better option. Otherwise, obviously, you can keep on consuming the videos as well, and you can learn Figma. You can be a master, and you can do all of that stuff, even with the free things that you actually have as well. So yeah. What is the best way to market your UI UX services? Could you please take advanced prototyping with examples and why you encourage? Okay, hey dude, thanks for explaining about variables in previous video. It helps me a lot to understand. No worries, and I'm glad. Oh my, I mean, I'm so freaking tired just speaking and speaking. So let me just actually open a file. Someone asked me about like some tabs and stuff, and what do we actually do when you click on something, or like something along those lines. It was something like that, right? I'm not completely sure, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and create something like that. But even before that, there's just something that I actually just want to see really quickly. So if I'm not mistaken, actually, let me just go to the advanced. Hey, does the course make me a better UX UI designer? Obviously it does. Explain min and max width 2 in Figma with example. I think I've already done that in the video that's really popular. But let me actually just do the thing that I think someone asked here about, like 5 tabs or something along those lines. So, I mean, you can actually just do that by seeing what Figma has done in their advanced prototyping file. So as you can see, they have a bunch of, they have a component here, and the component has multiple variants, right? So they have, let's say, I don't know, 3 variants. And what's happening here is if you click on 1, the button, the actual variant changes. If you click on 2, that changes. If you click on 3, it changes. So let's actually just have a look and see what's going on. So if I just press shift space here, what they've done is quite simple. They have gone to the component itself, and as you can see, this is the component, and they've linked the variant here. You can link the variant here to the name of the fruit. I mean, pretty simple stuff, right? You can link it to the name of the fruit, and now if I just press on something, if I'm pressing on 1, we have the first fruit. If I'm pressing on 2, we have the second fruit. If I'm pressing on 3, we have the third fruit. And that was a bummer because obviously for some reason it's not linked. I think it may be linked somewhere. Actually, I can just link it right now. I'm not sure why it's not linked. This is embarrassing. So 1 and then 2, this is diamond, and then 3, this is star. Actually, it is linked and it should work. So, okay, so for some reason the name of fruit is the wrong variable. The variable is actually shape. It's not name of fruit. So I think that's a mistake that I just did. So I need to just change that to shape. So now if we go ahead and play it, so if we click on 1, we have the first shape. We click on 2, we have the second shape. We click on 3, we have the third shape. And you can use the same logic to actually create the thing that you were just talking about. You can have a variable that's going to be something like active or something. I don't know. And what you can say is anytime we basically click on 1, the active state should be applied. If I click on 2, the active state should be applied to this particular thing. If I click on 3, the active state should be applied to this thing or something along those lines. You can easily do that. If you still don't really understand it, let me know and I can create something, but hopefully this gives you an idea on how to do it. All 5 have 3 states. Yeah, I get it. All 5 have 3 states. Scenario is there are a few tabs, and when you click on any tab, it becomes active, but condition is only 1 tab can be active at a time. It's fine. You covered already most of the Figma updates. Explain minimum max width. Okay, so it looks like Noman actually has just that one question that we need to cover. You're right. This should be scalable. This doesn't look like a scalable option to me personally. But how do we actually go ahead and do that? I mean, I honestly cannot see a way straightforward that we can actually link like just one variable to all of these tabs. And if I click, let's say just tab 2, and it deselects everything else and just only makes tab 2 active. I can do it similar to what I was doing right now for all the tabs, and it's going to work, and we can individually go ahead and turn all of the other tabs off. That's something that I can do. But I don't really see how we can do this particular thing that you're talking about. Let me just think about it a bit more, and let me see if I can think of a scalable solution. So even if you, let's say, add like, let's say 50 tabs, you can still control it with a single variable. I can't honestly think of a way to do it right now with just one variable. So, I mean, yeah, let me just cover it later once I actually think about it a bit, and maybe I can find a solution. If not, I mean, I can't find a solution, then that's that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Would you share your managed time between your work and YouTube? I want to start YouTube, but I'm confused where to start. I mean, just invest some time, invest an hour, or maybe just 15 minutes or half an hour, whatever it takes you to create one video. Just try creating it, let's say in 2 days or 3 days, just one video. And that by that you're going to have 2 videos every week, and in 10 weeks you're going to have, let's say, 20 videos. I mean, that's going to be a good start. So definitely don't think you have to go all in immediately. You can just create, like, give like 30 or 20, 50 or like 1 hour every day, and you should be able to create really high quality videos, 2 videos in a week. I think that should be sufficient. So I think that's pretty much it. Noman, all 5 states. Who exactly asked me that question? I think Noman did. So Noman, actually come to my LinkedIn, send me a message, and let's figure this out together. And if I can actually come to a solution, I'm going to message you, and then I can create a video about it as well. But I really like your particular problem, and I think there should be a way. I just cannot think of it right now. So I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely let me know if you found this useful and if you want to do this again as well, and I'd be happy to. Several problems for people like me who don't know conditions and logic. Actually, this is a real problem, Noman. I'm not sure if there's an easy solution. I mean, we have to think about these things, right? Conditions and logic, we have to think about them. And this is just going to help us be better thinkers and design this logic in a much more flexible manner. If I'm a programmer, if I had the flexibility of programming, this would be very easy. What I would do is, if I click tab 2, select, first of all, go select all the elements, all the children within this particular container, and deactivate them and apply a class to tab 2. That's it. That's what all I'm going to have. And Ahmed Nawaz, I would love to give feedback on your community file. So yeah, definitely let me know. And I can have a look at it. Send me a LinkedIn message. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be pretty much it. It's almost an hour. I'm going to see you all probably later. I'm going to create a video. Hopefully, if I find a particular solution for this. I think it is a funky problem and it is a complicated problem, but I am sure, or hopefully, maybe I can figure out a solution. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Yes, Shafaq, he actually just wants 1 active state and 5 tabs.